Okay. I'm sure some more people will roll in, but we'll go ahead and get started. For everybody that's here, we have Kate. She is from Power, and Power is a program here in Nashville that provides career exploration for our youth that are 14 to 24, correct, Kate?
High school age, and then we have other services for people over the age of 18.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I will let Kate take it from here because she knows better than I. And we're excited to have you, and thank you so much.
Yes, of course. Let me get this pulled up. You guys can see PowerPoint. Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for having me. I am a big fan of CASA. I worked for DCS for a long time, and I know how much hard work you guys do. So I really appreciate you taking the time just to have me and listen to all the opportunities that are available. So like Alexa said, this program is for Davidson County high school students. It is called Power Youth. It was formerly called Opportunity Now, so some might recognize that name, but it is for all high school students in the Davidson County area. The opportunities are very vast, so it gives students an opportunity to kind of explore different career fields so they can kind of figure out what their interests are while they're still in high school. It is a part-time job over the summer, and it runs from June 5th through July 21st, so 7 weeks of the summer, which should give most schools about their students a week of kind of downtime before the program starts after school gets out, and then another week of downtime before school starts back up again. So it gives them a little bit of that, and it's broken out into 2 sections. Our experience work side of the program is for our 14 and 15-year-olds. They work in a group setting, and it is a project-based kind of learning environment. So they work on one project for the entirety of that 7 weeks. They work about 20 hours per week, and they get paid $12 an hour. So it breaks down to basically Monday through Friday for 4 hours each day is kind of how that looks. And then for our older students, the HSI side of the program just stands for high school internship. It's more of what you think of when you think of traditional internship programs, but it's paid. The 16 and 19-year-olds, they get $15 an hour, and they work about 28 hours per week. For our experience work students, like I said, it is a group project that they work on for that entire summer. They work in groups of about 6 to 12, and that is based off of what the employer is needing, and they will kind of see that when they go to apply how many positions, so they can kind of know what to expect when entering and applying for those positions. Like I said, it is 4 hours per day, Monday through Friday, so those students will typically work in the morning hours, no later than like 4 p.m. would be when they would get off. The groups are led by peer leaders. Those peer leaders are usually college age students, so they kind of just went through the whole high school thing. They're close in age to those students to kind of be a support for them, make sure that they stay on task, make sure that they have enough work to do, and just make sure that they're safe and comfortable in their environment. And like I said, 20 hours per week and $12 an hour for them. Here's some of our students from a couple years back. These kids down here worked at McNeely Center with their summer camp program. And then this student up here, he worked at Oasis Center. They have a wonderful bike program. So he got to learn how to fix up bikes and put a bike together and learned about road safety. And that's what his job was. So as you can kind of see, the jobs are a little bit more creative, allowing them to kind of express themselves and really kind of learn how to be professional, how to show up to a job every single day and stay on task and all that stuff. So it's a good way for them to practice doing those kind of employability things before they're really able to be employed by most employers. And then for our high school internship side, this is the side that I'm actually over, so I know a little bit more about this side of the program, but they get to apply to the positions that they find interesting. We have jobs in a wide variety of different careers and avenues for them to kind of check out. So when they go to our website, they just need to kind of scroll through them. They can filter it by area. So like if they live in South Nashville, like South Davidson County, they'll click that and be able to kind of narrow it down. The the week to week kind of breakdown. For the first week of the 7 weeks of the program, we do pre-employment training with them, and that consists of ensuring that they understand how to fill out a timesheet and what to do with those timesheets every week so that they do get paid, making sure that they know what their rights are and what to do if their rights may be violated or if they see other people's rights being violated, and then just how to handle conflict in an office and doing it in a professional way. We really try to prepare them for all situations so that when they're in the job, they feel confident knowing what they're going to do and how to handle whatever comes across. Each Friday, so after that first week, they'll go into their job. They'll work 6.5 hours Monday through Thursday for 95% of the jobs. There's a couple that have weekend positions or weekend time frames, but most of them are Monday through Thursday for 6.5 hours. And that is a maximum that is allowed per child labor laws. And then every Friday, we do these Friday cohorts. Those are led by an employment coach. And those employment coaches are typically Metro Nashville public school teachers. So they get to work with a group of about 20 students for the entirety of the summer. They're going to be the ones that lead that first week of training, and then they're going to be able to check in with them every single day or at least once a week to make sure everything's going well, make sure that they get their timesheets turned in and all that kind of stuff. And they're really just kind of that right-hand person for the employer in case something may happen or a hiccup or whatever, to handle any issues that may pop up. And they're also the right-hand person for the student if the student has any questions or needs any kind of like skill building activities or lessons or kind of plans to come into place. So those are every Friday, and they'll meet for about 3 hours each day. On those Fridays, we're going to cover different topics that are professional kind of soft skills. One of the ones that I'm really excited about for this summer is networking, because a lot of our students don't understand how valuable that is when you enter into the workforce, and being able to train them on how to do that, how to get their elevator pitch down, how to help them remember names, and doing all those kind of professional skills now is going to set them up for really great success in the future. And like I said, they work a maximum of 28 hours per week, and it's $15 an hour for them. They also get some financial literacy education as well. So learning how to manage all that money that they're going to be earning over the summer. And then these are a couple of our interns from last year. This wonderful intern up here, she worked for 50 Forward, which is like an older adults day facility. She literally just kind of played bingo with them. She got to help them learn how to work on a computer, like how to Google and like the importance of like email and all that kind of stuff. She really enjoyed that position, and 50 Forward has been a great supporter of Power Youth. And then for our group down here, they worked at Adventure Science Center. So that awesome little pyramid that's downtown. They got to go there and work their summer camp. So they got to show younger kids how to do experiments and talk about science and all that cool stuff. So that's what their jobs were for the summer. A lot of our jobs, we do have the ability for our high school students to work with younger kids, kind of learn that patience that it takes, learn how to, manage and multitask and all of those skills that are very necessary and needed when you enter into the professional workforce. For my 16 and 19-year-olds, I have about 80 different employers that have partnered and offered opportunities for the students. I have about 400 positions within those 80 employers. So lots of positions, lots of opportunities, lots of different avenues for them to check out. We have stuff in like hospitality, event planning. We even have like office kind of metro jobs. So good work experience and good resume builders and references, having like kind of a government name on your resume, which is really great. We have lots of like medical stuff, social work, which we love, some good library positions, and even some legal positions where they work in like a real courtroom with judges and all of that, which is really cool. And so the applications are open right now. For my high school interns, my 16 and 19-year-olds, it opened on the 15th. And for the 14 to 15-year-olds, it actually opened on the 1st of March, so just yesterday. So they are able to go onto our website now and be able to apply. And I'll kind of walk you guys through what that looks like here in a second. The applications close on April 21st. So they have from now until then to look onto our website and apply to the jobs. I would really encourage them, obviously, to apply early and and apply to as many positions as they find interesting. Myself and my program staff go around to all the high schools in the Davidson County area. So the opportunities are well known kind of in our area. So applying early can get them higher on the list to get the coveted position that they're looking for. Once they apply, interviews will start. Myself or my assistant Jake will contact them to schedule an interview via email. So making sure to provide a reliable email that they check and they have access to is a really good way to make sure that they don't miss any opportunities. And then they'll find out their placement in mid-April, and that will be also when we set them up to go to a payroll session where we'll get them set up on payroll. We can even help them set up their own bank account if they don't have one yet. We only partner with banks that have specific bank accounts for high school students that do not have like overdraft fees or anything like that that's going to put them into debt before they even graduate. So we make those special for them so that they can learn to manage their money and they have access to their money. They'll have a debit card and all that good stuff to be able to use the money that they've earned. And like I said, again, the program runs from June 5th through July 21st over the summer.
Hey, Kate, I think we have a question.
Yep, and I was just getting to that next slide. So perfect. Yes.
Hi, Kate. I'm one of the team leads with CASA. I was just curious. So as you know, we're working with kids in foster care mostly.
Yes, ma'am.
And they may not be in the same placement or even in Nashville from the June date to the July date. So my question is, like, if a kid was local and they started the program and then their placement disrupted for whatever reason, and they had to quit the program, would that be a problem?
I mean, we always try to do our best to work with the students to try to make every possibility to make them, stay in that same position or allow them to stay in that same position. If something like that, a disruption were to happen, that's not a problem. We would just terminate them in our system and make note of what caused the termination so that if they did apply again for next summer, we would know kind of what the situation was and that it wasn't something that they did while in their job or something like that.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Because it's hard and it's like something you can't predict, right? A placement might look really stable and then for whatever reason it falls apart. And so I'm always like wary about programs that are long-term because I'm like, I don't want it to look bad on them because you're right, it may not be their fault. So that's really good to know. Thank you.
Yes. And I understand that those happen without warning sometimes. So yeah, totally understand that. And just kind of communicating with us will allow us to hopefully make something work. And if not, then we can provide the details that we need. Is there any other questions while we're here before I kind of walk through what like the application part looks like?
I have a couple questions.
Yes, ma'am.
So is this only for Davidson County youth?
At this time, yes, it is only for Davidson County high school students.
Okay. And the opportunities are only in Davidson County. I feel like that's a no-brainer, but there's nothing like in the surrounding counties.
Not at this time. Our jobs are very much spread out. Like we have everything from like the very tip of Davidson County on the north side to the very tip of Davidson County on the south side. So we try to spread them out because we know most of our students don't live in like Nashville proper, So we try to do our best for that.
So then I have a follow-up. So like Anna mentioned, our youth sometimes change placements. Are they using like if they are in state custody, what address are they using would it be okay to use the Department of Children's Services address? Because technically they're in custody of the state, so they'd be a Davidson County, but they may be placed somewhere else. I don't know. I'm just kind of wondering how we work that when our kids move and are in different homes.
And I would encourage to use an address that's going to be, if something does get mailed to them, like for instance, if they do sign up for a bank account, that debit card. Our W-2s are all online, so nothing really gets sent to that physical address, just providing that to show that they are a Davidson County resident. So if using a DCS office or even the CASA office or whatever feels comfortable for them in the situation, that is fine with us.
Yeah, I was going to say, be wary of using DCS address just because I had a kid who was getting her green card and they sent it to the DCS office and they just have so many people working there. It got lost in their mail. So I think the CASA office or even maybe like the GAL's office or something
Yeah.
would work. Just an experience. I haven't had great experiences with stuff being sent to DCS.
That makes sense. But yeah, even like you said, the GAL would be awesome too. That's a great idea. Any other questions you guys can think of? So one thing that I usually do get asked is about transportation. Because we have so many opportunities, it's very difficult for us to provide transportation to any students. I know at least with all public school students, they can get on the WeGo bus for 2 free rides every single day for free with their student ID. And I don't know if y'all are probably aware of all the resources, but just so you know that would be a way to kind of navigate that part of it as well.
I
Okay.
had a quick question. This is
Yeah.
Jessica Ingram.
Hi.
Do y'all do anything in terms of like helping them get work appropriate clothing or things like
Yes.
that in case there's some financial hurdles?
Yes. So my actual employer is Goodwill. So we have a plethora of resources available to us. I had, I think, 2 or 3 students last year that we sent them gift cards so that they could go and shop and find some appropriate clothing for whatever the job is required.
Cool,
Great
thanks.
question. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you guys what kind of the website looks like so that you guys, if students ask you questions, you kind of know how to navigate it as well. Of course, they can always contact me as well, and I'll provide that information for you guys before we get done. So they can obviously go to this website, givegw.org/Power Youth. They can either search Metro Action Power Youth or Power Youth Nashville or a combination of those words, and it should be the first thing that pops up in Google. And then when they go to our website, they'll scroll down just a little bit, and these will be the links that they see. For, like I said, for the 14 and 15-year-olds, they'll click that Apply for Experience Work link. And then for 16 and 19-year-olds, they'll click the Apply to High School Internship. And if they have never worked for us before, they will create a new user. They'll click that button, create a username, password, and provide that email that they are able to access easily. If they have worked for us before and they have their information saved, they can do that or forgot their password and regain access to it. The biggest hurdle I think that happens when students try to create a username is they don't provide enough detail for their password. So it has to be 8 characters long, has to have a capital, a number, and a special character. So it has to have all those things that you would need for a password. And I think most students know that, but I always come across 1 or 2 that don't. So that's the thing that would stop them from being able to create their account that way. And once they create their account, they'll come to this screen. And if they scroll up on when they see this screen, that'll be all the jobs that are available to their age group. They'll all be listed, typically in alphabetical order. So if that helps, if not, they can sort by location, like I was talking about, whether they live in like the south part of Davidson County, east, west, north, or central. And they can also kind of look at it based off like if they're going to have transportation, whatever the situation may be. It's good to kind of think of that. That's something that we also ask them when we do our interviews to make sure that that logistic piece is taken care of. One thing that I would be cautious about is changing the age. The age for some reason makes it glitch and then it looks like no jobs are available. So try to leave that alone, but you can sort by location. And then once they look through the jobs and they're like, oh, that seems kind of interesting, I want to know more, they'll click on the link, and this will kind of be what the job descriptions look like. It'll show them the address. It'll kind of give them an idea of what to expect in the position. And then it'll also talk about their hours that they're going to work, because every job is going to be a little bit different as far as their start time and end time per day. So that all that information will be right there in that description. And if they come to one and they're like, oh, this looks cool, I want to apply to that one, they'll scroll to the top of that description. They'll click this blue click here link. And then as soon as they click that blue click here link, another link will pop up right in its spot. Don't know why it does that. but I want to make sure y'all know. Then they'll click the apply online, and the application's super simple. I just want to get their demographic information, be able to contact them, and then they'll click kind of some interest things. It'll ask like, are you interested in working with kids? Do you want to run your own business? And they can click whatever applies to them. That just allows us to know a little bit about them before we contact them to interview them. So once they apply, they'll, like I said, just make sure to provide that email. That is how we'll be reaching out to them. We will get them to kind of rank their positions if they apply to more than one. Like my first pick is working with 54, my second pick is adventure science, kind of like that. And then we'll ask them if they have transportation, and if they provide us that, we'll send them a Calendly link so that we can schedule an interview. Those interviews typically take about 15 minutes. We just want to make sure we get to know them a little bit, that they're going to be a good fit for the position that they're applying for. For instance, some of the positions are client facing. So we really want to make sure we put a student in there that is outgoing and feels comfortable talking to people that they don't know. Wouldn't want to put a student in there that feels shy or introverted and doesn't feel comfortable in that. We want to really set them up for success. So those are the kind of things that we're asking them. We'll revisit that they have transportation and all of that kind of stuff. And then we'll kind of explain what the next steps are. The next steps would be getting them put on payroll. They'll need to come to one of our payroll sessions. Those will start April 15th and they'll run all the way until basically the first week of the program in June. So they'll be on Tuesday and Thursday evenings from about 4 to, I believe, 7:30, and various locations. Usually they're at MNPS schools or our Metro Action offices. And then we'll also have them on Saturdays as well. And those are typically going to be at the Goodwill office downtown, which is right across, basically right across the street from the Nashville Farmers Market, just to give you an idea of where it's at. So they'll need to come with some identification, an ID, birth certificate, or something an I-9 document, and an adult. So whether that be their guardian, whether that be one of you lovely people, or whoever, is around them and able to provide that adult support while they're walking through the process of payroll. We'll get them to enter in that information and access their bank account information so that they'll get their direct deposit every 2 weeks like a real adult does. So they get paid just like we do. And then if they don't, like I said, if they don't have a bank account, we can also help them get set up with a bank account so that'll be in their name and allow them to get that debit card and get their money directly to them. So, and then by the end of the summer, we will have talked to them about getting their references and all that kind of stuff so that they can really hone in on that power of this program and be able to use this to get to the next step and the next level of whatever their career goals may be for themselves. If you have some students that are 18 and up, we also, Goodwill has a lot of very amazing free certification programs. I think some of the best ones are our construction program. It is for 18-year-olds and up. They get paid $100 stipend every week. The program is 4 weeks. They learn how to use all the tools. They learn about weatherization. They even learn how to forklift drive and get certification on that. So that is available to them if that is something that interests them. We even have a really amazing Google IT program. So they get to learn all of the inner workings of Google IT, learning Python and all of those programs that IT people use. And that is a certification provided by Google. So that name alone kind of carries a good amount of weight. And that program, I believe, is about 3 weeks, and it takes about 22 hours of their time per week is kind of how that breaks down as well. So those are also available. And if anybody has questions about that, they can go to our website, Goodwill, and look through career solutions, or they can contact me directly and I can get them in touch with the correct people. But I really want to thank you guys for allowing me to come. These are some of our interns from last year as well. These students obviously were at juvenile court, so they got to work with the judge. It was really awesome opportunity for them to kind of see the sides of the court process. And then these students worked at City Pets Veterinary Service, and this young lady actually still works there. So some of our employers still keep their students after the program is over. They switch them over to their payroll and they continue their relationship. with them because, you know, they've already trained them, they already love them. So it's a good way for them to gain that wonderful employee through this program.
Kate, do you know when that construction program, do you know off the top of your head when that starts?
I believe they're in week 2 right now. So as soon as they get done with their 4 weeks, they start a whole nother one.
Got it. Okay.
It's back to back to back.
Got it.
So in a couple weeks, they'll start, I think, the next one.
And that one you have to be 18.
Yes, you have to be 18. And they, like I said, they provide $100 stipend every single week that they're in the program. And that location is, oh my gosh, I lost the name of it. It's in Cockrell Bend kind of area. So like west-ish Nashville.
Okay.
So
Hey,
no,
could you give, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say no bus line is out there, just so y'all know. I'm sure you guys do know that, but yes, Miss Carla.
Yeah, Goodwill, what's that website?
Yes,
those,
let me pull
Like the
that up. for you.
construction?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I don't visit it every day, so I'd never know exactly what it is. Okay, so it is give it to the number goodwill.org/career solutions. So just one more time, just to make sure, because I talk fast, sorry. Give it to the number goodwill.org/career solutions. And that'll provide all the jobs that are, or all the training and certification programs that are available. And you guys can kind of look through them and see what works best for them.
Could you also go back to your website? I missed that slide somehow.
Yeah. There it is.
Okay.
And I'll make sure to send over, if I haven't already, send over a flyer that has that information on there as well for you guys and has my contact information. Like I said, I'm over the 16 to 19-year-old side, and then Shamika Higgins is over the 14 to 15-year-old side, so her contact information is on there as well. I know a lot about the program though, so I should be able to help them if they have questions.
Can I ask a question about communication? I'm just thinking that the 14-year-old I have in mind doesn't have computer, internet, or phone. And so the communication would be most easy while he's still enrolled in school. And so once the program might start in the summer, will they pretty much know everything because they're coming every day? They won't need to have regular access to email?
Yeah, I think the biggest access they would need to have would just be able to contact them in case an emergency happens for one, or if they're
Okay, so you
running
could like
late or
contact a
something.
guardian.
Yes,
Okay.
100%. Most of our 14 to 15-year-olds, they just provide this. It's usually the parents or the guardians that are filling out the applications for
Right.
them. So it's
Okay.
them providing their information.
Okay, great. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any other questions for Kate?
No, hi, everybody. It's Bridget Smith. I'm listening while working, so that's why I'm not on camera, but I just want to thank you, Kate. I just want to compliment you on your excellent presentation skills.
Oh, thank you.
I just want you to know I listen to a lot of presentations all day, every day, and this was very engaging, and I really appreciate your smiles and your tone of voice. It's great. So
Thank you. I really appreciate that. You guys are a lot less intimidating than the high school students that I talk to every single day. So
I bet.
appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Hey, I did have one question.
Yes.
He said that when they come for the payroll session, that an adult needs to attend with them. That adult won't need to be signing any documentation or anything like that. So I'm just, our kiddos are primarily in foster care, and they may have a foster parent, but that person may have physical custody, but does not have like any sort of legal guardianship position. And if a CASA volunteer or staff were with the young person, we would not have that authority either. So I'm just wanting clarification, I guess, on just they have to physically be present to provide support, not necessarily sign any documentation.
The only documentation that they, I believe, sign is just if they are wanting to release the rights if we take pictures of the student. So they have the ability to opt out of that. So they would not have to sign that. That's the only time I believe that we ask any adult to sign anything. Just giving permission if we take pictures to promote.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, if there's no other questions, Kate, I will let you go. Thank you so much for coming and sharing all about Power, and I will get out Kate's contact information and send that flyer to team leads, and then they can disperse it to their advocates.
Awesome.
Right.
Thank you all
Kate,
so
again.
much.
Awesome.
Yeah, I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And always love talking to you guys and supporting our foster care youth. So anything I can do to help, if you guys have any questions, please just reach out.
Awesome. Thank you, Kate.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye. Have a
you.
great day.